What if I told you that the instant an empath fully realizes their innate force is the moment manipulators acknowledge their lasting defeat? Listen closely, because what I'm about to share will fundamentally redefine your understanding of deep emotional power. Carl Jung asserted that within every injured spirit resides dormant strength, ready to be unleashed. And this fact is most powerfully demonstrated in the newly awakened empath. Yet, Jung's work revealed a truth far more profound, and frankly, much more formidable. Here is the process that unfolds in that critical moment when an empath finally breaks free. And trust me, once you grasp this, you'll comprehend why this inner revolution is totally unstoppable. Drawing on Carl Jung's insights, there's a psychological process he named the merging of the shadow self. For ages, empaths stifle their inherent strength. They quiet their inner knowing. They apologize for maintaining limits. They dim their inner brightness to cater to others' comfort. But Jung found that this repressed vigor never vanishes. It simply gathers. It intensifies. It awaits. And when it finally surfaces, the resulting metamorphosis is completely revolutionary. The newly aware empath undergoes what Jung referred to as psychological emergence. They don't just modify their actions, they drastically alter their entire relationship with reality itself. Suddenly, the need to appease vanishes. The constant need for justification ends. The habit of self-betrayal becomes unthinkable. They achieve what Jung labeled authentic selfhood. And this state is entirely magnificent. But here's the truly intriguing part, and why narcissists should harbor genuine concern. Carl Jung understood that empaths possess what he termed superior intuition. They don't simply feel feelings. They instantly decipher complex psychological structures. They spot manipulation before it's fully hatched. They sense deceit in a single look. They interpret energy like others read language. For years, they applied this talent to understand and excuse the behavior of others. But once they awaken, the focus entirely shifts. They begin utilizing their gift for their own defense instead. Pay close attention, because this is the pivotal turning point. Following Jung's concept of individuation, the conscious empath stops asking, "Why do they treat me like this?" and begins asserting, "I will no longer tolerate this behavior." This is more than a mere shift in attitude. It's what Jung called the rise of the sovereign being. They seize back absolute command over their personal existence. The empath who once absorbed everyone else's suffering now sends it back with absolute clarity. They become what Jung defined as the mirror of truth. And truth, he realized, is the most crippling weapon against falsehood. Here is the final outcome, and it will astonish you. Carl Jung noted that authentic power is neither loud nor aggressive. It is quiet assurance. The awakened empath no longer engages in arguments. They simply decide. They don't plead for their personal boundaries. They effortlessly enforce them. They don't attempt to persuade anyone of their value. They just move away from those unable to perceive it. This is what Jung called psychological autonomy, total mastery of one's inner emotional world. And the individuals who once controlled them, they are left completely without influence. According to Jung, there is a point in mental maturity when a person stops needing external approval and becomes internally complete. For the empath, this transition represents both freedom and total overhaul. They stop condensing themselves to fit into places never meant for them. They stop defending themselves to people who are already determined to misunderstand them. They attain what Jung called self-realization. And this achievement is absolutely impenetrable. But here is the element that makes this change truly hazardous to their manipulators. Carl Jung discovered that the most powerful individuals are those who have transmuted their deepest wounds into profound insight. The awakened empath has survived intense turmoil. They've been misled, betrayed, utilized, and rejected. But instead of growing cynical, they became acutely discerning. Instead of closing off their heart, they became highly selective about who is allowed entry. Jung named this hard-won wisdom, and it is something no cunning person can bypass. The awakened empath develops what Jung called conscious boundaries, not defensive walls erected from fear, but clear standards built from self-regard. They love passionately, but select wisely. They forgive entirely, but forget nothing important. They understand completely, but connect only where mutual respect exists. They have perfected what Jung termed appropriate exchange, providing people precisely what they've earned. No more, no less. And here is the ultimate change that renders them totally invincible. According to Carl Jung, the highest plane of mental growth is when a person no longer requires others to make them whole. The awakened empath reaches this position not through solitude, but through comprehensive inner balance. They become complete not by avoiding the world, but by choosing their position within it with sharp precision. They no longer try to save individuals who relish sinking. They no longer pursue those who constantly retreat. They no longer pour their inner light into voids disguised as companions. They have mastered what Jung called the skill of conscious relating, engaging only where mutual regard, authentic concern, and real reciprocation thrive. Carl Jung stated that when someone has faced their darkness, confronted their inner conflicts, and emerged intact, they transform into a force of nature, not destructive, but unshakable, not confrontational, but perfectly assured. The fully awakened empath personifies this truth perfectly. They are formidable not because they strike out, but because they can no longer be exploited, dominated, or shattered ever again. And that, based on Carl Jung's vast life's work, is genuine power. The empath's awakening is more than just personal growth. It is what Jung called the hero's journey of the soul. They delve into the shadows, face their hidden self, unify their power, and emerge not merely fixed, but truly sacred. This is the precise moment when an empath realizes their true potential. And once you observe it, you will never underestimate the silent might of a soul who has learned to defend themselves as intensely as they once defended the world.